Okay, so here we are. Our next project, as we mentioned before, one of Mary Sue and I's favorite activities is fishing. One thing though, in the 32 years we've been married that we have not had is a boat. So this past Mother's Day, I surprised Mary Sue and got her a boat. And got a quick video I want to show you just so you can see how excited she was about this.
Where'd you get it?
Let's just say it might look familiar to you.
Where's it from?
Cynthiana.
Are you serious?
Behind a guy's garage.
Do we carry that thing? What's a lot bigger?
It's Mike's old boat.
Really? It looks a lot bigger than what I remember. It looks a lot bigger. I don't think. All
right, the long and the short of it is that boat actually belonged to her brother who passed away right after we were married. He had cancer. And while we were dating, we actually took his boat out on a local river there where her family is from, and we dated on that boat. And when he passed away, her dad got it. When he passed away, her older brother got it. And now we have it. We were looking for a boat, and I reached out to him. He didn't use it anymore, so he let us have it. And we also bought this trailer from a friend of his. And as you can see, this is not a brand spanking new trailer. We got this for $100. It needs tires, it needs new wood on it. So this is going to be one of our projects. Our son is coming home from college. He loves to boat also. He also calls himself a YouTube engineer. He likes to watch YouTube, figure out how to fix things. So this is going to be one of our projects for the summer, is fixing up this trailer. It's a game fisher. It's a little on the old side. I know it needs new lights. It's going to need new boards because these are pretty rotten. I don't know if you can see this or not, but it won't take much for that thing to fall apart. It's pretty old. We're going to need to sand it down. We're going to need to paint it, put new boards on it, put some new carpeting on the boards, put new lights on it. So this is part of our summer. We hope to have this done hopefully in a month. That's my goal anyway. I got some things ordered. One thing about this, a friend of mine said, if you're going to order things, check into Walmart.com. I'm not a huge Walmart fan, just to tell you that. They have way too much of our money, but I looked around, tried to find some other things, and I could not beat the price on the tires for this thing. It was like half of what everybody else was selling them for. So,
and they're on the rims.
Yeah, and they're on the rims, so all I have to do is take these off and put the other ones on and be ready to roll. So let's go take a look at the boat, and I'll talk to you about what we're going to do with that. Okay, and here we have the John boat. It's a 14-foot John boat. It's a 1970 model, so it's almost as old as me. And this is the boat we were telling you about that Mary Sue and I actually dated. It belonged to her late brother. And she wasn't really excited, I didn't think, when she looked at it. And I will let her explain from the other side of the camera what was going on that day.
Well, one, I came down with a cold that I wasn't expecting to have, and I didn't know I had a cold, but I just didn't feel right. So I got home. I didn't think it was my brother's boat. I hadn't seen it in years. And I just kept, it was upside down. I was like, I don't remember it being that big. I thought it was like a little canoe. I don't know what I was thinking, but it is. I'm happy.
Yeah, and another thing we found out is that Mary Sue started a new job, and some of her coworkers said, let's go down the street and get something to eat. So, she's been doing keto, not used to eating carbs. They took her to the local bakery and said, let's have donuts. So she had a major sugar crash going on because she's not used to eating carbs. So the video that you saw earlier of her not being really excited about the boat, she really was just like hanging on by a thread as a result of that. So here's the boat. We've got quite a bit of work to do with it. It's actually in pretty good shape structurally. We've been watching YouTube videos, becoming YouTube engineers ourselves with this. The inside, it's in, like I said, it's in pretty good shape. What we're going to do is we're going to strip it down, sand it down all the way, top and bottom. We're going to reseal the bottom. We've been looking at the type of sealers that we need for that because we want to make sure it's watertight. And again, this boat is close to 50 years old, so it needs a little TLC before we throw it back into the water. I've replaced, ordered some things, like here's the drain plug. I don't want to take a chance on that being like dry rotted because I can tell it's really, really dry. So I've got another one of those, and for $2, why take the chance? So again, we're going to sand all this down. We're going to seal all the the rivets on it, all the seams on it. We're going to paint it up real good. We haven't decided what color we're going to paint it yet. It's going to be beautiful no matter what, because we've never had a boat before. And this may not seem like much to us, but to everybody else, but it's really exciting for us. That boat, or that motor, does not work, so we're going to have to figure out that. It says Ted Williams on the side. Ted Williams, like the baseball player. I didn't know he also made boat motors. And another cool thing is, and my son's going to be excited about this, is that my brother-in-law had these in storage. My father-in-law's been passed away for about 20 years. My son is 21 years old. So he does not remember his grandfather, but these were his fishing tackle boxes that were left behind. So my brother-in-law has given them to my son so he can have granddaddy's fishing lures, and it's really cool. It's something special. It's my son is a real sentimental type when it comes to family. It'll mean a lot to him to have those and take them out. They may not be worth anything. They may be completely dry rotted by now. We don't know, but it's fun to have them. So we'll keep you posted on this as we go through with the restoration project. And here we are. We've spent a couple of hours on it now over the course of 2 or 3 days, and it's sanded down about as good as we're going to get it right now. We're putting on a primer that has anti-rust properties with it, so we're going to give it a couple of coats of primer, and then we will put on the regular paint. We're getting excited. Looking good. Okay, and here we are. Second coat of primer is on the trailer. Looking good. We need to let it wait about 24 hours. We're going to change the tires on that also. So you can see it's kind of taped up. We're getting there. A lot of progress. Evan has now started on the boat, the little John boat. Kind of sanding the inside of it out. Getting rid of the rough spots. And one thing we're going to do after we kind of knock out some of the rough spots off, we're going to put it up on blocks and fill it up with water to see if there's any leaks in it that we need to fill up, put some JB Weld on there before we start painting it and waterproofing it otherwise. So we'll keep you posted. We're getting there. Okay, so the sanding part on the inside of the boat is done. We just kind of knocked the rough edges off. Sort of see it's still got a lot of paint on the inside there, but that's okay. We can hit the top rail here a little bit. Looks pretty good. So now what we're going to do, we're going to fill it with water to see if it leaks. Find out where the spots are that need to have a little JB Weld put to them. You can see we sort of have it up on blocks to level it out. That way we can sort of see underneath it also and find out where the leaks are. So we'll keep you posted on that. Here we go. Okay, so we filled it up with water, and we've already started draining it because we forgot to get the video on this. But quite a bit of water in there, you can see. And we actually blocked that pretty good. There's just one little spot there, and then there's a deeper spot right there, which one little rivet needs to be covered. This is actually, on the underneath side, you can see that it's actually coming down the whole seam with that right along there. So after we get it dried out, emptied out, we will come back and we will put some JB Weld on that, and then we will start the rest of the sealing process. So stay tuned. Be back soon.
What you doing?
Well, as you can see, we're doing some heavy sanding. I've got a steel sander on this, kind of a steel brush, and getting really good on the rivets and on the seams. Getting down as much metal as we can, so when we put a JB Weld on the seam, on this entire seam, and then there's a rivet up here we need to seam pretty good or cover pretty good. It'll stick better. After we get done with that, do sanding, put the JB Weld on there, we'll clean it off again real good, and then we'll put the it's something called Goop, coat it. We're going to try that, and then we have some paint over top of that. So hopefully within the next couple of days this is going to look beautiful. So anyway, back to work.
Okay, and we're back, and this is day 3 of our restoration project for the old John boat. As you can see, we're in the garage again. It's going to rain outside today, so I'm not sure how much we're going to get done. We worked late last night sanding. You can see we've got it pretty much down to the aluminum in a lot of the places here. One of the things that we're going to do is we did find a couple of spots. We're going to flip this thing over later today in the comfort of our garage here and put some JB Weld on some of the leaks that we found. We found 2 little spots, which is not all that bad. We're also going to kind of clean this out on the inside. We did put a light scuff on that with the sander. Now we just need to get a vacuum out and clean that up real good. Get the grit out, and then maybe wash it down with some mineral spirits, let that dry, and then we'll be able to paint the inside of it. We have some primer for the top part there. I think we're going to go with the blue for the top and gray for the bottom. We have some something called Goop coated that we're going to put on the bottom of the boat, and then over top of that we have some gray paint coming in, thanks to the fine folks at Amazon. So we'll be having that come in later today, and again, we won't be able to do too much painting today. I don't think it's supposed to rain outside, and I really don't like to paint inside the garage because, especially with spray paint, it'll go everywhere. You'll see.
All right, hi guys, it's Travis again. I'm home for lunch. The weather broke. I know this morning I showed you it was kind of overcast and everything in the garage. Really didn't want to have to paint in the garage, so fortunately we've got a couple of hours of sunshine here. It's warming up. It's going to be in the mid 80s. So we have the boat out, we have the trailer out, the tarps are off of them, trying to dry everything out. This has all been cleaned, top and bottom. We're going over it now on the inside with some mineral spirits. Going to wipe it out real good, try to get any residue out of the way. You need the dust, so when we start putting the paint on, in a couple of minutes, it'll be fine. Actually, it won't be me putting the paint on. My son, Evan, who you've seen earlier and who's working the camera now, is actually going to be painting this. So I'm really excited to see what this is going to look like when I get home in a couple of hours. So we're going with a black primer for this. We'll have to put that on today. We're going to go with a deep blue eventually on this. We've got some gray ordered from the bottom after we get the clear coat on it from Goop, the coat it. On the inside, we're going to go with kind of a hammered gray look, which is going to be really cool. We've covered our seats, so no paint gets on those. Anyway, there's where we go. This is going to be black. This is just a coat of primer on it right now, but we're going to just paint that black to start with. I don't know, we may put something cool on here eventually on the boat or the trailer or both. We don't know. Anyway, there's where we are for now. We'll see you in a couple of hours. Thanks.
What do you think about all this, Copper? Are you enjoying all our boat remodeling going on here? He's really excited.
All right, so here we are. This is day, 5 or 6 I'm working on the boat here. We didn't do much at all to it yesterday because we actually went fishing. So we left it here to kind of dry. We had put the Goop coated on here. It's been on here for about 2 days now. It is nice and solid, and it's healed or sealed over really nicely, thickened, hardened. So we're ready now to put the final coat on the bottom. We have this called wet edge polyurethane topside paint. And topside paint is typically for this part, but since we have all this other sealer on it, you can also use it on the bottom because this boat is not going to be in the water 24/7. We're going to have it out every great once in a while. So check the reviews on it, check with the manufacturer. It's good for the bottom of the boat. It's this is a Kingston gray, which is going to look real pretty on here with the blue. So before we do that, we have to, you'll see it sanding. Evan was sanding on, just not enough to take this off, just kind of enough to give it a little bit of a grit so that when we put the paint on there, it'll have something to stick to. We're going to thin this a little bit with mineral spirits, about 5 to 10%. It'll make it a little bit thinner. That's per the manufacturer's recommendation. You can put it on there thicker, but the key to this is putting it on really, really thin because we're going to put 3 coats on this. And you have to have at least 16 hours of dry time between coats. 3 coats will make this look slick as can be, and plus a little bit more watertight on top of this. So that's what we're going for. We're really excited about this. It's been a long time coming, a week. First world problems, right? So anyway, we're going to continue buffing this off. Then we'll wipe it off with a clean rag, get all the grit off of it. Then we'll thin this out and put it on there, and we'll do this for 3 days in a row, and then we'll be ready to put this thing on the water. So here we go.
All right, first coat of Kingston gray going on the bottom here. And Again, remember to keep it as thin as possible because we're going to do 3 coats on this.
Evan, smile. Dad, smile. It's pretty thick stuff. It may have been thinned down just a little bit.
Yeah, we didn't quite thin it as much as we probably should have. Again, a little erring on the side of caution there, but it's looking good. Definitely trying to make sure we get underneath the seams there, even though we didn't detect any water loss there. A little extra protection doesn't hurt anything. Totally changes the look of the boat though.
Let's see. So I got carpet on the pieces of wood. They did the winchy thing, as Evan calls it, the winch. They put the spare
Put a new winch
tire
on it, put a new spare tire and spare tire holder on it, put a new bumper for the front where the boat will rest. So took care of all that this afternoon. Evan and I put all the carpet on here. We still need to clean it up a little bit. We glued it down and tacked it down. So anyway, it said you're supposed to create a lot of pressure to put on there, you know, like this is made for, you know, the instructions are putting on a floor. You're supposed to roll it down, everything like that. Well, we didn't have a roller, so we improvised, which is the floor way of doing things. But we just bought these landscape pavers because we're going to make a fire pit. So after we got through gluing the carpet on the wood, we put the wood on the ground and we just stacked these pavers on it for several hours, and that did the trick. So necessity is the mother of invention, and that's what happened. So now we're getting ready to actually fasten these on here. You notice they're on these little round poles, and we have these pipe straps we're going to put on the bottom. I don't know if you can see this. Anyway, these are the little pipe straps we're going to use. They'll go on the bottom
of the wood.
And that'll allow you to kind of slide the wood back and forth for the width that you need. Depending on, you know, we just have a little John boat.
They didn't cost very much money either.
Didn't cost very much. I mean, this 4-pack costs, what, $2? Something like that at Lowe's. So, have enough for all 5 boards. A little bit of overkill for the size of boat that we have, but that's what came with it, and we're going to put it back the way we found it. We may get a bigger boat later on. This will hold a bigger boat than the John boat that we have. But anyway, this will be the next to the last step. The only thing we're lacking, we after looking at it, we thought, well, we'll go ahead and we'll paint the fenders to match the boat. We'll put some silver on there. And the other thing we have not done yet is the trailer jack. And we don't know what we're going to do with this because the handle's kind of busted on it, so it's kind of awkward to use. And also, we found out that the tire is flat on one side and it's crimped in because it's so old. So it really doesn't roll. It's just kind of like a steady jack. That's all we need it for, so I'm not going to spend the money right now on that because anywhere from $30 up for a new jack, and it does what we need it to do. Save money where you can, but we will kind of sand this down in the next little bit and put a coat of paint on that to match the boat. So anyway, there we are for now. We are imminently close to having this project done.
Yay! Boat in the water. What you doing, Dad?
All right, he is putting one of the little pipe clamps on. I'm got one finger snaked around holding it, so I'm hoping he doesn't screw my finger to the wood. Here we are, trying to put the final touches on this.
Okay, so here we are at Elmer Davis Lake, which is in Owen County, Kentucky, and we got the boat in the water for the first time, and no leaks, looking really good. We actually been fishing for the last 2 hours or so. We didn't catch a whole lot, it was mostly just for fun. All we have is a little trolling motor, but on a lake this size, which is about, 150 acre lake, it's not very big. That's all we really need. But anyway, we got out here. It was a lot of fun, and I'm gonna let Evan we're getting ready to load up because there's a big storm coming. So I'm gonna go get the truck and the trailer. But anyway, I'm gonna let Evan drive out and get ready to get loaded onto the trailer. But that way you can see it in the water. Our pride and joy, the USS, whatever, we haven't named it yet. So anyway, thanks for checking in. Thanks for tuning in. Really hope you enjoyed our project.